Bonsoir everyone, welcome to Chacha Paranormal. Recently I realized that a certain book had been sitting on my library for 20 years without ever being opened. What a shame. This book is a treasure trove about the supernatural legends of Brittany, Bretagne in French. And tonight I'm going to make up for my neglect. Let's talk about the fairies of Brittany. When we think of fairies, we often imagine bright, benevolent creatures from children's stories linked to gentle, reassuring magic. Yet in Brittany, fairies are not just figures of legend. They are described as diffuse presences, rarely seen but perceptible, attached to places where something seems just a little off. They don't inhabit a separate world, they share ours, but slightly askew, in dense forests, where the silence feels unnatural, on hills that seem hollow, in lakes whose surfaces remain still even when the wind rises, in sea caves where sounds return distorted. Tales always center on these specific places, as if the land itself retains an active memory. Traditions say a fairy can enrich a human in a single night, or make them vanish without a sound, without struggle, sometimes without anyone noticing. Their origins go back to a very ancient time, long before modern religions. They seem to come from forces linked to destiny, capable of intervening without ever revealing themselves. Over time, they were assimilated into the spirits of nature. Yet, Breton tales insist on a troubling point. Their presence leaves tangible effects. Fields become barren. Stones move. Paths confuse travelers. Animals avoid certain areas. It's as if these spaces have been subtly altered. Some traditions claim that fairies were once pagan princesses, refusing any conversion, cursed for their refusal. They were condemned to remain in an in-between state, neither dead nor alive by human standards. This may explain their hostility toward Christian rites. Baptism is fatal to them. Holy water weakens them. A fairy who accepts baptism loses her immortality. Other more unsettling accounts tell of reversed situations where humans are drawn into rituals that slowly sever them from their original world. Fairies' appearances are sometimes changeable. At night they appear in a seductive, almost too perfect form, as if their beauty were designed to reassure those who encounter them. This beauty has a particular effect, an immediate sense of familiarity, even trust. But by dawn, the mask may crack. Some accounts describe faces changing suddenly, as if another layer emerges underneath, older, more rigid, and above all, eerily unfamiliar. Fairies are masters of social erasure. They often appear as old, poor women barely noticed. This detail recurs insistently, almost like a precise protocol. Fairies observe, they evaluate. Those who show generosity may receive lasting, inexplicable help. Those who are cruel or mocking may suffer more diffuse effects, physical troubles, persistent bad luck, a gradual drifting from reality, as if something malevolent had attached itself to them. Many fairies live underground. Hills, burial mounds, and stone monuments are contact points. Some people claim to feel pressure or presence near these sites, even in broad daylight. Dolmens and menhirs associated with fairies are often surrounded by accounts of sudden discomfort, brief memory loss, or a persistent sense of being watched, as if these places are never completely at rest. In these hidden spaces, fairies sometimes keep treasures that they bring to the surface. Tales speak of gold coins appearing and then vanishing, as if matter itself obeyed different rules. Those who try to seize them for their own gain are not attacked, not pursued, but the treasure vanishes immediately, leaving a sudden emptiness, an abnormal silence, a feeling far more unsettling than any visible threat. Calm water are also privileged places. Lake and river fairies are said to be among the oldest. Their underwater palaces, described as made of crystal and light, may be induced visions, altered perceptions caused by their proximity. Some tales describe humans, seduced by these beings, undergoing strange transformations. Their appearance subtly changes. Their voices or gestures become different, or they feel their perception of the world shifting, as if reality itself is warping around them, and they can no longer tell what is truly real. Along the coast, the fairies of the wave inhabit caves carved into cliffs. These places are associated with unexplained sounds, muffled music, indistinct voices, distant laughter that stops as soon as one approaches. The rare humans who venture into these domains often return unable to describe exactly what they experienced. Time spent among the fairies seems to contract or stretch, a phenomenon reminiscent of many paranormal or UFO accounts, where the perception of time is deeply altered. Fairies' power go beyond simple fairy tale magic. They can influence matter, the body, and even the human mind. Their ointments can make someone invisible or allow them to transform, but if used without permission, they can leave lasting consequences. Vision disturbances, recurring dreams, a persistent sense of being followed. The enchanted objects they give work as long as their rules are respected. When these rules are broken, the effect ends abruptly, leaving the human face to face with a reality that suddenly feels colder, harsher. Some fairies are called good ladies. They act discreetly, protect homes, and heal animals. But others are vengeful, methodical, and cold. They abduct children, provoke disasters, sabotage weddings, or turn their enemies to stone. Their vengeance is not explosive, it is silent, delayed, and absolute. The famous fairies Viviane and Morgane perfectly embody this ambiguity. Viviane, the Lady of the Lake, protects and raises, but imprisons Merlin in an invisible cage whose nature no one can truly define. Morgane, Queen of the Fairies, wields healing as well as destruction. She lures humans into enchanted valleys that resemble golden prisons, where willpower slowly fades, as if the place itself decides for them. So what really are the fairies of Brittany? Ancient spirits, entities tied to specific places, or the lingering remnants of a world older than ours? Perhaps they are mostly a persistent, discreet presence, not always seeking to show themselves. If some places in Brittany still feel unnaturally silent today, if certain stones appear moved without explanation, and if some forests give the impression of watching those who pass through, it may not be a coincidence. Fairies are not just memories of legends. They might still haunt our forests and hills, invisible but present, always capable of acting. I hope you enjoyed this topic. Let me know in the comments if there are fairy legends where you live. In the meantime, I'll be back very soon. Bye.